My name is Jan, and that's Alan, and we're the founders of Hallo Helper. Tonight is a showcase of what we have been building for the last few months. Not just the technology for the new apps, but also the strategies that we have in place. 2021 was our launchpad year, and just a high level, Hallo Helper is the on-demand app for getting on-demand services and on-demand work right where you live. And it's available globally, just like all the social apps out there, but it's hyper-local and based on where you are. Without further ado, this is Hallo Helper 2.0. what we have for you. We have a lot of gamification, and we used the year one's market data to really solve the service providers' problems and also the customers' problems. Want to make it easy and fun and also engaging. So we coined Hallo Helper 2.0 as on-demand meets social app, because it really is more social than it is an on-demand, a basic on-demand booking platform, right? So it's not a phone chat or an online classifieds. It's bringing on-demand economy into the post-pandemic in the 21st century. People with shorter attention spans, it has to be very engaging, and that is the future of local work and local home life. And that's Hallo Helper 2.0. Yeah, okay. So he has nothing to say. So a lot of you know that if you have a product and you don't have a strategy, it's not going to work. We knew that. So along with the data that we gathered to build solutions within our product, we also implemented and are implementing some cool strategies. Some of them are upcoming. They are meant to be grassroots, lean, maximizing technology and data, which is our strength as a company. These are our strategies.
So it said if you get 100 pre-registrations of service providers, you'll add that new market kind of in a demand-driven way, where it's not just markets you're planning to go into. If someone really wants your app in their market, then they'll do the work, and you'll notice, oh, look at that, they're up to 110, and then you press the button to launch.
Yes, absolutely. The reason why we're coining it as a social app is it's user-generated, as it should be. Our expansion plan is not capped by the market we launched in. Our apps are built to support multilingual communities with smart chat translation, and actually for Web Summit, we are really making play for Portugal expansion, and we're going to use that game that you saw to really get viral in Lisbon.
So how much effort is it in terms of copywriter hours and engineer hours to translate from Spanish to Portuguese?
We've already done it. The way we built the apps is it's very serverless architecture. So in the translation and the languages that we serve, it's pretty much just plug and play. So it took about 2 hours of hard coding and to add a list of things and just using the online database for all these words like Google, and the app is in Portuguese. The only hard-coded thing is we needed to make sure that the smart translator in the in-app chat could also do the translation in Portuguese. So yeah, imagine that in Filipino, any language, anywhere. And that's the beauty about this platform is it's not exclusive, it's inclusive of whoever you are and wherever you are. It's meant to be able to operate wherever you are. If you noticed, a lot of the things that we did on the animation side is on the loading, there's a lot of loading characters and loading animation. And the reason for that is we know from launching in Puerto Rico that internet connection is spotty. And the last thing we want is for users to have that little tiny spinning wheel and have the app freeze because it's trying to reconnect. And so with the longer loading animations, those are separate screens that will populate should they have low connectivity. If it's taking a little longer to do the process, they still feel like they're being engaged. It's not a glitch in the app, it's a part of the process. And that's why it's a little bit longer when you have low internet connection. So just those little things that we really pinpointed, like which part of the process are they getting stuck at, and what are they being frustrated about? And a lot of the times, it's just because the app's not letting you do anything. It's showing you all these buttons, but you can't click on them because it's trying to reconnect. So don't show the buttons.
And that's one of the reasons we used zip code matching instead of GPS, because with lower internet connections, it doesn't always work, but you can always match a zip code to a zip code. And our helpers all say, I work in these zip codes, and our customer says, I want the service in this zip code. You're only ever going to see the people who serve you. So that's just one of our many little things that we've come up with to deal with unique issues in multiple markets.
Yeah, and a lot of that has been, like I said, it's data backed, and and what we found after a year operating is what people will tell you in a feedback or a survey. It might be the opposite of what their user activity is, what buttons they're clicking in the app itself, and so you have to almost fact check and cross check all that data, and then that's how you figure out what the actual solution might be for their problem. Because maybe they're just not telling it to you, or maybe they think they're telling it to you the right way, but you're interpreting it the wrong way. So always check for the data, and that's how we've come up with all the tech and all the solutions that we have here. Very excited about Portugal. We are going to be showcasing as a startup in Web Summit. It's a 2-minute fire pitch, quick fire pitch, well, without any visual aids, not like this one. So it'll just be me standing in a round podium with everyone around me. It's a little scary, but yeah. So hopefully we get a chance to engage the people over there and really let them know that, hey, the version 2.0 apps of Hallo Helper goes beyond service areas.
And Lisbon will basically be our MVP for expansion to the world, because what we've built at Hallo Helper is a plug-and-play system, essentially. You plug in customers, you plug in helpers, and you plug in a payment rail, and everything else matches. And we're serverless, like you said, so we can be anywhere and operate anywhere. And the goal is to operate worldwide, especially in communities that need it.
And the key thing is everything that you see in the app itself for the version 2.0 is pretty much automated. We've integrated with third-party integrations to automate our communication workflow during, after a booking, all that stuff, or any support. So it's less hand-holding for us, which means we could have one main HQ in Puerto Rico and be all over the world with maybe minor satellite managers per district. But we don't necessarily have to have a headquarters over there or have an onboarding center like Uber has in all the places they expand to, because as you saw, the onboarding for the service provider, the local worker, it's not only explanatory, but it actually has an automated guide that we built in there. So we really leveraged tech to make sure that the conversion is there, the experience is there, and they get to get them through the rest of the process, because we know that we haven't cut all of those background checks and verification steps that are necessary for the customers, right? So we dangle the right amount of carrots. For us as a platform, we need to come up with a solution that entices the worker side without deprecating the benefits to the other side of the user.
So the idea is then when you do these demand-driven launches, to not hire kind of local marketing or management staff until the revenue justifies it in that market?
That's kind of the key part of the 100 helpers. So if we see that there's 100 helpers, then we can deploy the resources. Then it's worthwhile because we're not going to have upset customers who can't find providers.
Yes.
So,
and the key thing about the Ambassador Rewards program is that those 100 helpers have already gotten cash perks in their account for referring each other. We also have another incentive to refer customers. And with the dynamic links, we're able to just give them a QR code that customers can scan, and that'll serve as their digital business card, which takes the customer into their profile in Hello app, even if the customer does not have the app yet. So even if they go to the App Store or Google Play Store, this hard-coded link that we worked hard for will still remember that unique path within the app, and it won't convert or turn into a conversion event until that is completed. It's a stubborn link, is what we call it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Was the difficult part of that building the backend systems? Was the difficult part getting Apple and Google's permission?
A bit of both. I think, when the last part of the build, a lot of the delays that we went through was because iOS 16 came out, and then Google came out with all their stuff too. And what people don't know is when they come out with all these software updates for the devices, their web platforms also have updates in the legal side of things. So Google Play Store had some changes in the way it handles data and all that stuff, and privacy. And so we had to kind of deal with that, and then go back to building the new apps.
yeah, there's basically always something that they're requiring from us with every cycle of iOS, and
Yeah. Go ahead.
How do you guys handle the annoying scheduling game?
That's the beauty of this, it's gamified. And so what we've built is the dual app system that uses your actions and interactions with your app to trigger what they can do in their app. Say I'm the customer and I search, all I do is I search a keyword and I search where my zip code is, right? So I say home cleaning.
Let's say you found a guy that you want and you want to schedule him.
Yeah. So the scheduling is not going to be on you, it's on the app. So you just tell the app what you need, so when, where, what time. We show that to the service provider. They will give you offers based on that. So they will say, yeah. And that's where the job speed comes in, because it's a feed for them to, if they have a Mac service, the app will absolutely give them alerts and all that stuff. But they can also just browse through the job feed and see if there are any job requests which expire in 30 minutes or 45 minutes for them to snap up.
Does that have a high connection rate? It seems like you need a lot of helpers for that kind of process to fulfill.
What we found actually when we test run it is that allows helpers to see the same posts instead of, if the customer selects one specific service provider, then it's only that service provider that sees it.
I see.
But there might be multiple, cleaners who are available, or multiple, pet sitters available, but they're not going to be able to see your booking. So if your person is not available, then they won't know, and you won't have a booking.
Is there a way to integrate calendars? So let's say it's I want a job done tomorrow at 2 p.m., but I also have other times that could be done. But if there's the 2 p.m. and is providers who, because you know what I mean, like connecting people's schedules. Is there a way to like cut down the steps a little, like yeah, I want to book this, and here are the times that I can do it, or whatever, so that there's like less back and forth. Like I can do it here, so now I can't do it here. I want to do it here.
Yeah. So there's two options for the service provider. They can, when they do the offer, they can accept it the date as it is and just add the quantities, or they can propose a new time. And so for you, when you get your matched helpers, you'll be able to see all those offers in one screen and you just scroll. So some of them might have like a message saying, hey, you know, my offer is for this, which is maybe lower in cost, but I can only do it in a different day. So in one page, you're just scrolling and getting the key details as a customer to make that decision. And then you book the right one for you. That's what we tried to fix, is the back and forth. And what we found was there's a lot of delays in the back and forth for communication. So even if you're chatting back and forth on WhatsApp with a service provider that someone recommended to you, they might respond the next day, and then you might not be available anymore.
That's the annoying part for me. Is like, okay, I want a job, and then it's like, okay, you know, you contact people, and it's like, they get back to you, and a little later, and then it's like several days.
It takes forever.
Yeah. But it seems like you could kind of fix a lot of the inefficiencies if you just integrate people's calendars.
Yes. If everyone had a single calendar that they used, and everyone had the same technology access to it.
But couldn't you, like, you know, I guess that's...
It's a lot of engineering. There are whole startups that's all they do.
Yeah.
Like if you check out Calendly or
you can have like a
Cloud,
calendar app that's like, okay, here's the days. I guess you probably already kind of...
You're kind of relying on people being organized as
Exactly.
well.
So it would go, it would go along the lines of, have you ever Googled a business in Puerto Rico and found that they're closed?
Like all the time.
Yeah, so listings are still there because they're not updated by people.
Right.
So if we had the calendar system in there, it would work for the first 2 weeks, and then people would forget to update
But
it.
if you combine the calendar system with your like gamification thing,
You'd still need to be able to...
gamify the calendar update.
Yeah. Well, if someone in Web Summit has figured that out, we're open to API integrations always. But
Yeah, we've gone back and forth a lot on the calendar issue, and we have found that the providers don't always update their calendars. So it might be wrong. What we have built in this time around is one issue that a lot of people had is I don't like to work on Sundays or the weekends. So now they can designate, I do Monday to Friday AM, Monday to Friday PM, or Saturday, Sunday, or all of them. So that's, and then like to follow on to Jan's, like instead of the calendars, we're kind of putting like these, pushing them along the way, like with notifications. So if you're a cleaner and you post a job, Jack, for a cleaner, they're gonna get a notification if they're a cleaner. Say, hey, somebody posted something on the jobs feed.
Yeah,
Same as if
30
they
minutes.
saved you as a preferred helper, they'll also get that. So we're kind of like these little gentle like nudges to say, hey, there's a job. And then the other like beauty of the jobs feed is that
it will give people ideas of what they can do.
so like for a house cleaner, they might see someone looking for Airbnb. And they may want to do 4 hours, but they may have to see like 5 Airbnbs that just need 1 hour. And then we'll give them the idea, hey, maybe I should do Airbnb and I can charge a little bit more. Or it's the same way like pet sitters, they might say, oh, I can walk a dog as well.
yeah,
And then it just gives them ideas.
and that's why, the biggest social app that we copied for that is Pinterest. It gives you ideas on what your hobby is. We're just taking a different stance and applying technologies that are already there and bringing it to the on-demand gig economy. Bringing the fastness of like the social app, right? So you've got posts that you missed. Instagram tells you that you missed a post. We should be able to do or use that same technology to boost engagement for that helper. ensure that they're opening their app every day, we're incentivizing them with the game wheel perks. So if they open the app once per day, they get a credit to spin a wheel once per day and could win $10 per day just for playing a game in their app, or pointing a Hello Helper 2.0 as on-demand meets social app, any service that can be offered on demand. It shouldn't be just driving, it shouldn't be just delivery, and you should not have to download one app per service that you need. It should be one place. Because think about it, if social apps, if Instagram told you can only post about fountains, how popular would they be? They wouldn't be popular at all. That would be, it would limit people. And the idea of Hello is to really give the users, both users, the customer and the service provider, the opportunities that on-demand economy holds. Our job is just to come up with the right mix of technology and build some algorithms here and there to make that happen. That was one of the strategies that we revealed in 2.0. We call it our ambassador referral program. Basically, there's multiple programs in there for each user. So, a service provider can get cash rewards for helper signups, but also customers. If you have a store on Etsy, there's a QR that you can, send to your profile. If you have like an Instagram profile, you can generate a QR code and give that to people. Same deal. We've been able to do that.
Don't know if this is something you talked about before we got here, but I'm just kind of thinking back to this startup company I used to work for, and they had built an API that integrated with a ton of calendars, but what they did was basically, they were kind of trying to be like Yelp, but for appointment bookings. So to get people to join and like list on their site, what they actually did was they made profiles on their website for the service providers already. I would call the service provider and be like, hey, our client wants to book with you, like here, and I would book the client, and I'd be like, can we make this easier? And just like, you can claim your profile on our site, so next time they can just go to you directly.
Yeah.
And they liked it because the first time I talked to them, I already got them a customer. So
I like that, yeah.
that's kind of a,
I'm so glad that you said that,
Yeah.
because that's something that we actually forgot. So the web optimization part of the app, are these profile cards that are already ready-made. And so all that reputation of a service provider boils down to this one UI UX profile card, right? That has all the reputation. So what that allows us to do right now is create these cards on the web, not only for SEO crawlers, but also your idea,
okay.
to show them what it's going to look like in the app.
Oh, one more question.
Yes.
But I know it's like a big money gen kind of thing. Have you considered like subsidizing the jobs? Like, just like.
Salting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We are going to be salting. Yes, yeah. That's something.
That's one of the big strategies that we're going to, like, once we have money raised.
The problem is the chicken and egg,
Yeah.
getting like either service providers or customer service to
Yeah.
try and gather the.
We did recently run a pilot program and it worked with handymen in particular. And
Because it feels like, oh, you go to this app and it's like way cheaper to get a job, or it's like, hey, you get paid a lot more, and you can probably.
Exactly. Yeah. So the enticement for that one is it's demand first, which we're literally just copying from Uber when they started. They salted their drivers to make sure that every customer has an accepted booking.
Right.
And from the supply side, we're also working on a partnership that will bring us a bunch of providers.
We can't disclose that yet.
So it's not official yet. But we can make things.
Yeah. But they're big in multiple countries. So could be good. So for the first time, we're going to introduce a team member. This guy that we're going to play on the screen, his name's Asad, and he's been with us in day one. So we came up with the idea after Hurricane Maria, when we saw that there was no platform to connect the local workers to local customers who needed their services. And we went to the dev circle globally and we said, hey, developers of the world, this is what we're trying to do. We are not funded, but if you see the opportunity that it could bring into your community, wherever they might be, come join us, help us build this, come to fruition. So he is the OG. From day one, he's helped us build. He's built apps and games for Home Depot and Portugal. And he joined our team, and we're lucky to have him. So he's coming with us to Web Summit, and this is his introduction to the world.
Hi guys, my name is Asad Khan and I am the tech lead at Hallo. Jobs feed basically is a news feed that's tailored to jobs. As a customer, you're able to see different jobs that are happening near you. You're able to check profiles and you're able to book the same services or maybe use the same helpers that are getting booked. As a helper, you're able to see the different jobs that are being offered, different helpers that are getting booked. You can check their profiles, you can check different jobs, and maybe if you're interested, you can apply to specific jobs. Smart Chat is an awesome feature in our app. Basically, you are able to talk to helpers or customers even if you don't know their local language. So language isn't a barrier anymore. V2 of Helper app is going to completely revolutionize the on-demand work opportunity. Instead of being pulled, the opportunities are going to be pushed to the helpers. And on top of that, our intelligent matching algorithm is going to match those helpers with the customers who are more likely to succeed at their job, making the experience for both of them exceptional.
There you go, that's Asad, everybody. You guys are the first ones to see him in action. He's usually very private, but for this build, he was also very proud of what we've been able to achieve.
How big do you think the market for Puerto Rico is if you have like 50% market?
So the SOM that we have for Puerto Rico is 450K on this for this island. The way we're treating Puerto Rico is it was a sandbox in which we got all of these learnings from multiple communities in multiple languages to see how we are viable in every single community.
Yeah.
So it's hyper-local approach, and that's thanks to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we built the apps so that they're adaptable to every market, basically. So it's plug and play, customers, providers, and payment rail. And then we're doing our MVP for expansion in Portugal. So we're getting helpers on board at the moment, and our payment provider works over there. So we'll have customers at the Web Summit.
We partnered with a local Portugal marketing duo, and what we're doing in Web Summit is launching the social chain game. So we have 10 tokens that we're going to give to 10 players that will start the chain. If you're going to Web Summit, play the game, and if we don't have any of the tokens, then you better follow us on social media and find out where that token is. Yeah, so keep an eye out for Hallo Helper in your community starting in 2023. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you.